Right Honorable Speaker, as I said, I plan to undertake 3,002 audits during the period under review. However, I was able to complete 2,832 audits, leaving a balance of 170 audits in progress. In the health sector, there are substantial challenges of expiration of medical supplies. Government had to write off Uganda shillings 316 billion worth of COVID-19 vaccines, ARVs, and test kits off the books of government. This is an increase from last year's 33 billion shillings. Our pension system audit has revealed critical challenges that demand attention. I noted that 1,502 pensioners were overpaid gratuity benefits of Uganda shillings equivalent of Uganda shillings 22.3 billion. These overpayments were in 19 MDS and 115 local governments. In addition, 2,193 pensioners were overpaid pension benefits by Uganda shillings 8.9 billion, and this was in 23 MDS and also 104 local governments. The sustainability of our pension system faces mounting pressure from multiple fronts, such as early retirement policies allowing exits at the age of 45, enhanced pay from science professional, among others. From my analysis, I project a 12% annual increase in retirees over the next decade, with pension liabilities potentially exceeding 4.5 trillion annually by 2034 if left unchecked. Right Honorable Speaker, the implementation of the parish development model demands our immediate attention. Parliament appropriated 1.1 trillion shillings for this program, with Uganda shillings 1 trillion specifically allocated for the parish revolving fund to finance 10,594 PDM circles. Whereas a lot has been achieved to implement the program, certain gaps still exist. For instance, the household data collection only stands at 79.9%, with the population registration at just 46.3%. These circles also lack registered offices. Some of them implement ineligible projects. There is lack of accountability in certain instances, and then in certain instances also non-existent projects, among others. In regard to the implementation status of the Parish Development Management Information System that began in 2021-22, 9,366 of the 10,594 PDM circles have been successfully boarded onto the Wendy platform, which is a good thing. However, we have identified that 41.7 billion shillings was disbursed outside this platform, contrary to the established guidelines. Right Honourable, of the e-government procurement system has revealed several critical challenges that threaten the efficiency and transparency of our procurement processes. The delayed rollout of the system has exposed us to technological obsolescence risks, whereby our technology may be outdated before it's fully deployed, potentially leading to escalating operational costs. I discovered that numerous procurements are being processed outside the EGP system, effectively undermining the substantial investment in the ICT infrastructure. Given that procurements represents a significant portion of government spending, these gaps in our system pose serious risks to transparency, competitiveness, and accountability in our procurement processes. Right Honourable Speaker, allow me to point out a few other key findings whose details are contained in my report. For grant management, we entered into 9 agreements this year with a receivable amount of US dollars $127.9 million from 6 development partners. However, I must highlight that two critical grants, that is USMID and UGIFT, with a combined value of $87.2 million have only achieved 54% absorption, leaving $40.2 million unabsorbed. This translates to approximately 150 billion Uganda shillings unused funds that could have benefited our citizens. Specifically on these grants and specifically on USMID implementation since 2018-2019, I've noted that only 50% of the planned projects have been completed, with 23% not commenced and 27 partially implemented. Further, 82 out of the 84 implemented projects lack sustainability plans. Significant waste of resources that could have been saved or saved or utilized given the pressing healthcare needs. The situation in hospitals requires intervention. Mulago National Referral Hospital's ICU is operating only 15 beds out of the 27, which is just 56% of its capacity due to staff shortages. Critical equipment remains unutilized in several hospitals because of lack of trained personnel to utilize or operate them. The Health Infrastructure Department of the Ministry of Health requires annually about 20 billion shillings for equipment maintenance, but is only allocated 1.8 billion. Right, Honorable Speaker, with retainers, our inspection of 303 road projects worth 35.8 billion revealed that 159 projects had significant defects, including uninstalled culverts and inadequate maintenance. Looking at solid waste management in our cities and municipalities, the numbers are also concerning. Over the past 3 years, only 37 of the 4 million tons of generated waste was collected and disposed of. The cities collected just 34.4% of their 3.2 million tons, while municipalities handled 50% of their 812 tons of waste. Right, Honorable Speaker, I also noted that missions abroad face financial constraints that affect their effectiveness. 28 missions were not provided with capital development funds despite urgent need for infrastructure enhancement. Ongoing construction projects in 12 missions were noted to be behind schedule. In addition, Uganda is currently under cautionary sanctions of the African Union due to its outstanding contributions to the African Union amounting to about 13.5 billion. Right, Honorable Speaker, with regard to the implementation of recommendations, I noted that there is a slow implementation by accounting officers on the recommendations made by Parliament. Out of the 2,803 recommendations made by accountability committees, based on my verification of the Treasury Memoranda, I noted that only 31% of these recommendations were fully implemented, 35% were partially implemented, and 34% were not implemented at all. Right, Honorable Speaker, for each of the findings in my report, I've provided detailed recommendations aimed at ensuring program objectives are achieved and effective service delivery is provided to the citizens. Right, Honorable Speaker, before I conclude, I wish to highlight some key operational issues affecting my office. Our low staff to audit ratio stretches our team, limiting our ability to cover the entire mandated scope. An aging and insufficient transport fleet further affects our ability to audit remote areas, particularly under the Parish Development Model Program. In conclusion, I wish to express my gratitude to Parliament for the continued support and urge your assistance in addressing these challenges to strengthen our capacity in safeguarding resources as well as upholding transparency. Right, Honorable Speaker, I commit to work closely with all the relevant institutions to ensure that these recommendations are implemented effectively. I once again thank my team.
My major point of concern was what we are getting from the public. The public was saying there is a huge, in fact the public is saying, there's a big mismatch between what they see or even what other agencies of government are quoting, like IGG, with the reports of the Auditor General. Because it had been taken that when an unqualified opinion is given, there is no single audit query. That's what the people who are accounting officers are presenting to the public. I have a very clean opinion from the Auditor General. The Auditor General cleared me, everything is very okay. But then you hear the IGG saying every day we lose around 20 billion or something, something like that. And the public also is looking at what government is doing, and they see corruption littered all over, you know, and they're saying, but what are you talking about? Auditor General, what are you talking about? Until we had an engagement and we agreed that now the reporting method is going to change, so that we don't only get financial audit reports, but we also get other audits that accompany it, which include especially value for money. A very good example, in local governments, we are having an issue of the money we give for roads, the 1 billion. We are having very many quarrels. Someone says, no, with 1 billion they've done only 20 kilometers. But in another district they've done 60 kilometers. How come this accounting officer, the cow, is saying everything is okay? So I'm very happy you are going to make our work much, much easier as a parliament. Because now, when you give us a value for money audit report, it means we shall go deeper. We are being limited to your financial audit report. We couldn't go beyond what the Auditor General has given. And we could only be limited financial audit. I'm very, very, very happy that we are now going to go deeper. So you have supported us so strongly, Auditor General and your team. Our oversight role is going to be more exciting this time. You're going to see more people sweating, appearing before the trustees, because they won't hide behind now the unqualified opinion of the Auditor General. There is a very huge concern, and I request, because this comes to us and the colleagues share with us, the public is saying there is procurement of audit opinions, especially at local government level. It's a public opinion. It's a public secret in local governments that you hear them saying, no, we are collecting money to take to the auditors to get a good opinion. Kindly, we request you to fight that corruption. Kindly. The councillors, yesterday I had councillors from my district who are talking about it. The councillors, it's known in the councils, no, part of the money was used to give to auditors. They even say it openly in council meetings. Okay? And, you know, when the public has queries and they see indeed these queries are covered, nothing is, then they will believe, even when these people are lying against your auditors. So let's give the audit function the serious attention it deserves, and kind a few apples that are tainting the image of your good office, because we know you people, you are doing a great job. You will have bad apples everywhere. It's normal. Being accused is normal, okay? But again, if it becomes so rampant, it ends up affecting the quality of work you are doing. So local governments, we are having a lot of issues with local governments. We request you to give them very, very serious attention. We shall be, as the leadership of Parliament, we shall be guiding committee chairpersons, especially sectoral committee chairpersons, on the Treasury memoranda and how we handle it. Because that's the action taken report. These are not opinions of Parliament, resolutions of Parliament, no. we adopt recommendations of the Auditor General who has said ABCD is wrong, money was stolen here, please return it. So the accounting officers who have not taken action to implement recommendations of the Auditor General, they are going to face it rough with us during the budgeting process. Because we don't know if the Auditor General said the money which was appropriated to your entity was stolen. Okay? How are we going to give you more money? And you have not recovered it. So how are we going to give you more money? Okay? That's the issue now. The issue of the Treasury Memoranda, we are going to handle it ourselves internally with the accounting officers. And we shall be bringing this to the attention of the leader of government business, that we are going to be very, very tough when it comes to implementation of the recommendations of the Auditor General as adopted by Parliament. We cannot continue sitting and making declarations and they are not implemented when the auditors found robbery going on. Finally,